Time to take a look at the papers now. With us this morning to go through them are the author and broadcaster Emma Wolfe and the former editor of the Daily Star, Dawn Neeson. Into your third session with me, still looking absolutely fresh as a daisy, both of you. So that's marvellous. So let's get stuck in. Emma, you've picked out a story in the Sunday Express, and there's a lot of stories about the cost of living. It's something that's concerning so many people across the country. This has a really shocking headline about how high our energy bills could go.
Yeah, Anna, and things are bad already. Food prices soaring, the cost of fuel going through the roof. But this is now a warning in the middle of summer when it's warm and we don't have the heating on of how bad things are going to get this winter. The energy consultancy Auxilione have predicted that this energy price cap that we keep hearing about, which we know is going to be close to maybe 4,000 by October, could be then well over 4,000 by January and up to 4,700 by next April. I mean, obviously, both leadership contenders, they've been gesturing towards this cost of living thing. They've been making good noises. They've acknowledged there is a crisis, although whether their voters, their Tory party member voters really are as concerned as the rest of the country about it is a moot point. Liz Truss is favouring tax cuts and Rishi Sunak is favouring more direct handouts, more targeted help for struggling households. But yeah, I mean, both of them are failing to offer immediate help for very, very worried households. And I don't understand, why this why this energy price hike can keep going up. Nearly £5,000 we're hearing by the middle of next year. And yet we've just had eye-watering, staggering profits, billions of pounds of profits announced by, well, I won't name them, but we all know who they are, the big energy firms. How is this allowed to carry on? How much longer is it going to carry on? Where are households meant to find the money from?
Well, yeah, so many questions there, and whether or not there'll be a further windfall tax is one question, I guess, but also what kind of help those people who are struggling might get. And lots of those questions won't be answered until we know who the next Prime Minister is, I suppose. But in the meantime, at Dawn, a story inside the Sunday Mirror about some of the effects the cost of living crisis is having on households and decisions they're making.
Indeed, Anna, and this is following very nicely from Emma's story about, it's actually a very sad story. It's about so many families being forced to give up their pets, cats and the dogs, because they can't afford to keep them anymore. I mean, sort of like the Dogs Trust charity has reported 18,000 calls from distraught owners saying they just can't afford to keep them and what can they do? And this is up 55% on the 7 months of last year. I mean, people are having to face a choice now between, as Emma's just pointed out, heating when the cold weather comes, feeding children, or giving up dogs. I mean, pet food has gone up. I mean, all food has gone up, we know that, but pet food as well has gone up at 20%. So people are really struggling. And our Battersea Cats and Dogs and Cats Home are also saying the same thing. They are saying that they have an increased number of calls from desperate owners saying, look, I love my pet, but I just can't afford to keep them anymore. And the worrying thing about this story, Anna, is that obviously pets are so important to so many, in particular, elderly and lonely people. It's often their only companion. And if they are really struggling to look after that animal and feel forced to give it up, their circumstances are going to be even worse, especially, as Emma pointed out just now, when the bills go up even more. And, going back to that energy cap thing, it's like, what's the point of having an energy cap if they're going to keep putting it up every 2 months? I mean, that's not an energy cap, is it? That's just nothing, really. It doesn't mean anything to any of us.
Yeah, well, one thing it means is a lot of money to fork out every month, doesn't it? Let's move back to the real politics, get into the weeds of the politics here, Emma. Inside, which paper is this? It's The People. Suggestions that Rishi Sunak, he's been accused by some Boris Johnson loyalists of stabbing the Prime Minister in the back. What's this article telling us?
Nothing like a bit of political intrigue, conspiracy theories on a Sunday morning, Anna. So The People, Nigel Nelson's the political editor, is claiming that this plot to oust Boris Johnson was actually hatched about 15 months ago. Do you remember how quickly his super slick sort of campaign video emerged and how we were all surprised at these very, very detailed policies that he had within days of Boris Johnson resigning? Well, it turns out that actually he'd been plotting this. This is according to a senior Tory who is unnamed. A senior Tory is saying, actually, Rishi had a team working on this for months and months and months. And of course, this is not going to go down well with Boris Johnson loyalists who already, as you say, feel that that Rishi Sunak has stabbed his prime minister in the back and all of that. So yeah, this is just more conspiracy theories. Who knows? Who knows how long this campaign video had been in the making for?
Well,
People were even
exactly,
looking up the date.
who knows how much which papers are backing which candidate influences which Tories you listen to. Who knows? There are loads of questions, and who knows which other candidates had long-held ambitions too. Anyway, what are we moving on to? Water ban. Don't grass up a granny is the headline on this story. This is in the Star, isn't it, Dawn?
Grannies have really been getting it recently. I mean, during the COVID lockdown, we had "Don't hug people, or you'll kill your granny," and now we have "Don't grass up a granny." This is all to do, as we've been talking about all morning, about the hosepipe ban that is coming in increasing areas of the country. And bear in mind, if you break this, you get £1,000 fine. This is the head of Neighbourhood Watch saying, look, actually, have a quiet word with your neighbours if you see them washing their cars, washing their gardens, etc., rather than phoning the helplines that water companies have put up where you can actually name people who you think are breaking the rules. We had this during lockdown, didn't we, Anna, where people were literally phoning the COVID line to report someone going for a jog twice a day. We're back in that situation now, but Neighbourhood Watch are quite rightly saying, look, tempers are fraying already with the hot weather and the fact we can't afford anything. So don't add fuel to that flame by actually grassing people up. That's £1,000. That's an awful lot of money.
OK. Leave the grannies alone, we say. Dawn and Emma, always lovely to see you both. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Thank you. Please stay with us.
Thank you.